We have another word problem here that involves quadratics. Sue removes the plug from a drain on a trough. So the water inside is going to be modeled by this thing. So the volume in gallons. So I think what I want to say is volume in gallons is going to equal this equation. So I have 4t squared minus 32t plus 63. And so t is my time in minutes, and this all equals my total volume. So select the correct property that will give Sue the amount of time it takes the trough to drain. So what she wants to do is take this total volume to 0. So now she's going to have 0 equals 4t squared minus 32t plus 63. We can do this two different ways. We have seen quadratics like this before. Obviously, this is my x-intercept. It is my root. It could also be known as a 0. And we can actually solve for t. That's what we're talking about. And we can solve for t using either the quadratic formula or by factoring. So we have two options, quadratic or factor, and this is what we have the name when we want this volume to go to 0. So minimum, no, I don't really want this graph to hit its minimum. I want to hit its 0. Maximum, again, I want to hit it 0. The y-intercept, nope, I want my x-intercept 0. Well, that does seem like something I do want. So D is going to be my option. Now select the expression that will reveal the property. Obviously A is trying to trick you. They're trying to make you put in 0 for the time. Nuh-uh. I don't want 0 for the time. I want 0 for the output. So A is going to be out. And then now we're just left with these options. I actually know it's going to be B because B is in the format of something that's been factored. So I can just go ahead and select B and move on with my life. However, I'm going to help you out and actually factor this for you. So if we want to factor a problem like this, we have to first do the roof. 4 times 63 is 252. You're going to have to get a calculator and keep up with me because I'm not going to really slow down here. I'm going to factor this. I went to Google, factored it out, and I found that the ones I want are 14 and 18 in order to give me this negative 32. So now I'm going to have two new middle terms. So I'm having 4t squared minus 14t minus 18t plus 63. I'm going to group 4t squared minus 14t group plus negative 18t plus 63 group. I'm going to go ahead and divide out a 2, so I take out a 2t out of the first group, leaving me with 2t and a negative 7. Bingo! Are we seeing my first factor? We are. Out of here, I'm going to take a negative 9. And again, I'm going to get my 2t minus 7. Of course, I take this, write it once, so I have 2t minus 7. And then I cross those, and I have my leftover, which is 2t minus 9. And again, you see my second factor. So just because this was in its factored format, we could guess that it was right, or we could go ahead and do all the work and show that this is also true. One of the things I don't like about this problem is it's not fully solved all the way. Did it sit here saying equal to 0? No. So I would prefer this to say equal to 0, and then I would also prefer us to actually do the work. The work means I have to take both of these factors. This first factor, set it equal to 0, and this second factor, and set it equal to 0. Because on the test, we will have probably questions that actually make us do that. So I'm taking the first one, 2t minus 7 equals 0. I'm going to do plus 7 on both sides. I'm going to get 2t equals 7. I'm going to divide by 2. And I have t equals 3.5 if you want to run it through your calculator. Then on this side, I'm going to take this one now and set it equal to 0. 2t minus 9. And I'm going to go ahead and say equals 0 plus 9 plus 9. Cross, I get 2t equals 9. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and I get t equals 4.5. This would be my x1, and my x2 if I had decided to use method number 1, which is the quadratic formula. Now, the quadratic formula wouldn't actually help me out in this problem because it wouldn't have given me something that looked like this thing, which is the factored format. Okay, so we have to keep in mind that we have two options. When I have a quadratic equal to 0, I can actually solve using the quadratic formula, or I can solve using factoring.